be looking at some of the advanced features of Finder. First of all, guys, before I get started, um, I just realized that I don't have my Do Not Disturb on. So seeing that I'm switching it on, I'm actually going to show you guys how to do it quickly. So on your Mac, if you're running Big Sur, like I am, then you can just go to, you see the little clock there? Um, so you just hold down your Option key. And when you hold down your Option key and you click on it, it will automatically bring up the Do Not Disturb, right? Again, if you hold down Option and you click it again, it will remove it. And later on, you just see it disappear. So I'm just going to switch it back on again. So then I'm not being disturbed at all. The first thing I like to show you guys, maybe many of you are aware of it, is to use the Command tab to switch between different applications, running or open applications. And yeah, I've got my Safari, my mail open. Let me open two more. Let me open my contacts as well as my notes. So now I've got those open. If I hold down the Command key, and I'm going to bring up my keyboard so you guys can see which shortcut key I'm using. So if I hold down my Command key and I press the Tab key, it will then show me my different apps. And if I press the Tab key again, and again it will cycle through my apps. And if I put my focal point or the little box, it will then jump to that application. I can also use other keys around this, guys. So say for instance, I want to see this window, but I don't want to see any other windows around me or around this window, then I can hold down my um, Option and Command and press H, and that will hide all the other windows. Now, the same thing I can do um, when I'm on a single window per se. So I'm just gonna bring back all of these windows again. And say for instance, I want to hide only that window. So if I hold down Command and H, then it will only hide the window that I'm on. So Command, Option, and H will hide all the windows and only have the one that you were currently active. Whereas the one that was currently active, if you just hold Command and H, that will hide that particular window. So something good to actually work with. So I'm just gonna hide them all again. I'm gonna close this down. Also, another cool tip that I like to use. Oh, just one more thing before we move on. Now, say for instance, you want to close all of these apps. Then as you come to the particular app, then all you do is you just, while holding down the Command key, you just press the Q key, and that will then close down that application. Okay, I'm not going to close down Zoom, otherwise I'm going to kill the session. So I'm just going to keep it till there. Also, another handy tip that I want to share with you guys is that, you know, I just realized something when I moved my mouse pointer to the top corner, to the little clock. I thought of something. I thought of the hot corners. Maybe you guys have heard of a hot corners or not, but I'll quickly show you for those who do not know. If I go to my Apple and I go to System Preferences, and in my System Preferences, just gonna close this down, and I go to Mission Control. Under Mission Control, they've got this button called Hot Corners, right? Now, what it means is that if you move your mouse pointer to a certain corner on your screen, then it will do an action. Okay, so say for instance, if I go to this corner here and I say, look, I want to maybe start or open Launchpad, right? So if I click on OK and I move my mouse pointer there, then automatically it will go to Launchpad, right? All good and well, but this is a kind of for me a bit of a frustration sometimes, guys, because as soon as I move to the top, it will say, for instance, I want to be at the Apple and I accidentally just move to the top, which many times happen. It will then execute it and it kind of throws me off balance. The same if I use maybe the top right hand corner for different action. So what I normally do is to have my cake and eat it at the same time. I prefer to use one of the modifier keys. So just to show you, so if I hold down, say, the control key, option key, or command key, then it gives me the option to actually select one of those keys with the command. So say, for instance, I'm going to use the option key now, or let me rather go with the control key, and then I click on Launchpad. So now, if I move my mouse pointer to the top left-hand corner, it will not execute that command until I hold down the control key. Now it will. So you kind of have control over those actions. So now you can actually add in that um, those functions to your screen as well, or those actions to your screen without hindering your workflow. So that's another cool tip. Now, one more tip that I want to quickly show you guys is this here. You are well aware of recent items, right? So I can go to recent items and just click on any file and it will open it. Now, the one question that always comes to people's minds, yes, I know that the file is there, it exists on my computer, but where is it? So to see where it is straight under your recent items without Spotlight searching it, you can just hold down the command key and it will bring up the show option. So in that show, if you click now again on that file, it will take you now straight to where the file is sitting, as you can see. Okay. So very useful thing to use when you're in recent items. Now, seeing that we now find a window, guys, let me just show you guys further on what else you can do in terms of Finder. So first of all, one thing that I always like to do when I come to a window, I always see these buttons on the toolbar and so on. And what I normally do is I'd like to see maybe the labels under the button. I know it's something maybe it's a bit simple, but it just gives me better direction. So if I do a secondary click on my toolbar, I can go to show icon and text, and now it will show me the little text under the buttons. Also, guys, there's some hidden tools that I can use with my Finder window as well. Now, forgive me for those who know this, but I'll show it to you guys anyway. If I go to my View button, and I'll start off with the tab bar. You see, if I add in a tab bar, it will bring a drop-down bar at the bottom showing me my Documents folder. Now, what it means is that this folder is actually the folder I'm currently in. Now, if I should add in another tab, what will happen is it will bring about another tab under recents. Now, the reason why it's showing recents is because another tab is actually just another window. And I'll show you guys. If I go to this tab and I click on it and I drag it out, it will separate it as a different window. Okay. And so if I have multiple, so I find the windows, then I can um, merge them together all in one. So I don't have my desktop all cluttered up. So I'm going to go to window at the top and I'm just going to say merge all windows. Now, this is all my Finder windows. It will merge into one window showing it as multiple tabs, all right? Now, by default, it will always go to recent. But if I go to my Finder preferences and under my preferences, general, I can say new Finder window shows not recents, but let me go with it shows documents. Okay. So now this time around, I've got a documents. I'm just going to go to this tab and I'm going to selected to be on downloads. And if I click on another tab, then it will show me the documents one, right? So I've got three tabs. Also, another handy thing to do is if I hold down the command let me bring up my keyboard again. So if I hold down the command shift and I use the backslash, command shift backslash, then it will show me all of the tabs, right? As separate tiles, and I can just click on the one and it will bring that one to the forefront. So this is how you can work with your different tabs. I'm just going to close down all these tabs quickly. And to do that, I just go, you see, if I move on the tabs, it shows me the close button. I'm going to hold down the option key. If I click on it, it will just close them all. Also, another thing that I found out about the tabs, guys would notice if I drag my window around by holding down on the toolbar, I can drag it around. If I move it on the tabs, it will actually give me a smaller window, which is see through, and I can actually, if I've got windows in the back, I can actually see which windows are at the back by when I'm dragging it around on the tab. But keep in mind, it only works like that if you on one tab and not on multiple. Okay, so that is in terms of the tab bar. Let's go further and let's show our next bar, which is our path bar. Now, before I get to the path bar, this is what I'm going to show you guys quickly. Now, to see the paths of any file, right? So say, for instance, I click on this file. Now, if I want to see the path of the file, I can do it one of four ways. The first one is here at the top. Now, this is now when I'm running Pixar. On the top, it will show me the last folder. If I hold down the Command key and I click on that folder, it will show me the path of that file, right? And I can go back to, say, all the way back to my hard drive. Now, the other option is that I can also see the path, and this is for those who are more advanced, I can also see the path of the file by adding on a path button to my toolbar. So if I do a secondary click again and I go to customize toolbar, I can add in a path button, all right? And I'm just going to click on done. And if I click on that path button, it will also give me the path, same action as what I could do in my previous folder there. So the other one is if I do a secondary click on the file and I can go to get info, and under get info, it will show me the path, right? So that is another way of doing it. If I want to see it for the next folder, then I can do the secondary click again and get info. But let me show you guys this quickly. If I want to see the information of one file to the next, all I do is I hold down the option key and it will change to show inspector. And when I click on show inspector, it will bring up the same window, but this time around, if I go to the next file, it will automatically change and you don't need to do a secondary click get info for each and every window. Okay, so this is to see the metadata of your file. Coming back to seeing the path, last way to see the path, and this is the one way that I prefer, is to go to your view menu button and show path bar. And here it will show you the path bar of that file that you've selected. And I find this one actually way more better than these ones because it gives you the up to the file, where this one just shows you up to the folder. Okay. So, and on top of that, we can also jump back by just double clicking on the folder and it will take us back to that point on our path. So now if I go to the next one, if I go to view menu item, go to my view menu item again, this time around I can show the status bar. Now the status bar basically shows us how many items we are looking at and how many storage is available on our drive. If I should go to, say, to my recent folder, it will show me all the items. The cool thing about this is of my status bar, if I'm on my icon view, it will give me the slider here at the bottom, and it only applies when I'm in icon view. If I scroll, then it will make my icons bigger and it will make it smaller. Just in case you're on a window where you've got multiple photos and you don't want to go into each and every photo, you can actually go to icon view, zoom in with your slider, and you can see a clear picture of the icon um, of the photo while it's an icon or thumbnail view. The other thing about uh, the if I'm now in my icon view, you can easily select multiple files when you're in this view as well. So as you guys know, just clicking on a file will select it. If I select multiple, I can hold down the command key and just select it like that. The one thing I noticed was that you also can use the shift key, but when you're in icon view, the shift key works the same as the command key. So if I hold down my shift key and I click on the files, it will do exactly the same thing, right? It won't select between the first and the last. Um, and I'll show you guys what I mean. So if I go to my list view, and yeah, I can do the same thing, hold down command, select between the two. However, if I hold down the shift key this time, so if I click on the first file, hold down the shift key and I click on the last, say here by the screenshot, it will select everything in between. Now, say for instance, there are certain files in here I want to deselect, fine. I hold down the command key and I deselect that one and that one. So you can use your shift and your command key interchangeably when you are in, say, your list view, and even works when you're in your your column view as well. So that same structure works. If you want to select everything, you can just by going to edit, select all, right? Uh, Another thing is if I want to deselect everything, I can click anywhere, but also I can deselect by doing the following. If I hold down the Option key, you will see that it will change to deselect, and here it shows you holding down the Option key, Command key, and selecting A will then deselect all those files, right? And that becomes pretty handy if you like, say for instance, like me, I normally use my project files when I'm working on a project and I dump it on my desktop. But say if I'm finished with that project and I want to clear off my desktop, then I can actually go and select them all, or just hold down Command and A to select all my files. And I can then put them in a folder. But the quickest way to actually put them in a folder, now that I've got it selected, I can go to File and New Folder with selection 14 items. Now, if I click on that, it will automatically put them in a folder, right? Without me still making the folder, dragging the items in. Some people even drag it in one by one, but this is a quicker way of doing it. Now I want to rename my folder. So guys, I can be fancy and can give it a name, but I can even go as far as adding an emoji to that folder name. So if I hold on Control Command and press the space bar, let me bring up my keyboard view again so you guys can see what I'm referring to. So Control Command and space bar, then it will bring up my emoji gallery. And because these are to do with my YouTube videos, I'm just going to put this little clapperboard, and there we go. Pretty cool. And I'm going to move that off my desktop and put it maybe in my downloads folder there and move it. One more thing about selection, guys. If you're in your list view, right? And I'm just going to go to my documents folder with this one. If you're in your list view, you can actually select multiple files in different levels, right? So say for instance, I select this file here and I click on that folder, then I can select a file in this level, and I can now go and select one in that level. So it, it becomes actually pretty useful when I'm in my list view. Whereas, say for instance, I'm in my column view, that doesn't apply anymore, because now if I go to this folder and I want to click on that file there, if I now go back and I click on this file, then you will see it will jump out because it works in different um, columns, right? So yeah, that's just one of the things that you need to be aware of. Now, now that we know about selection, let me show you guys some other nice little tips. So first of all, you can also add in like a preview screen. So just quickly show you guys this. So if I now go into, say, any file, normally I can get a preview similar to if I should go to my gallery view. If I go to my gallery view, it will show me a preview. But even if I'm in my column view, detail view, even icon view, I can see a preview. So if I go to back to my column view and I go to my view menu item, I'll see that there is the show preview. It's good to get used to the shortcut key for this one, guys, because now I can just go Shift Command P and it will show me my preview. And there we go, there's my preview. But what's so cool about the preview is that it will also give you some of the metadata of that file. All right, so if I go now to this one, it will show me some more metadata. If I click on show less, it will then bring it down to less. Show more, it will show me all of the metadata, the size, and so on as well. But on top of that, because this is a PDF, I can actually go into markup straight here on the preview screen, and I can do my markup, put my signature on, um, put the text box in a PDF if I want to. So without even opening the file, I've got that use, right? And that's not only for this file. So say for instance, I go to a photo. So say if I go to that one and I can see my previews in there, it's Shift Command P, there it shows me my preview. And yeah, I can see that because I'm on an image, I can do the rotation of that image right there without even opening it. I can click on markup and do exactly the same thing as what I could do with my PDF. And this also applies for movies. If I go to my movie, then I can check it out there. I can even trim the movie straight here in my preview. You can drag that in, that yellow bar in, and there we go. And now that and I can play this video, and now it will only play that part, but straight from my show preview window. I'm just gonna replace that for now. And I can replace it, make a new copy and so on. So things that you could have done in opening another app, you can do straight from Finder, and that's pretty useful. Now, guys, we are almost at the end of my advanced features. Let me quickly show you another useful tip that I actually use a lot. Okay, so when it comes to using certain files as a template, so I've seen clients of mine working with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Pages, Numbers, Keynote, and the one mistake they make is that they don't save their templates within the app. In other words, I'm just going to quickly open Pages. So say, for instance, I open any document, right? And I want that document to be a reference to my future documents. Normally what people do is we will make a template. So say, for instance, I open a document that I had before, and I want to use this document as a template for my future document. So I can just go File, Save as Template, right? And this one will then add to my template chooser. So whenever I come into the application, I can just go to my templates and open it from there. Now, it's all good and well to have that in an application, but there are certain apps that don't give you that option, right? But in Finder, you can actually change your file um, by making it, keeping original copy where you just work on a copy of that file. So to do that, I can just go, I'm just going to go straight to a file that I'm always using for my lessons. There we go. That's the one. So if I want to keep the original of this file, because whenever I'm working with it, I don't want to come and delete items preparing for the next class. So what I do is I do a secondary click on that. I go to my Get Info, and under my Get Info, I click on this stationary pad, right? So now if I double click on that file again, it will automatically create a copy and open the copy. As you can see, test file for my copy. And here, there's my copy. And there's my original. Okay. So when I'm finished with it, I can just close it down. and I can delete the copy. Now, guys, I can delete the copy by just dragging it to trash, hold down selecting the file or doing a secondary click on the file and move to trash or move to bin. Alternatively, because I don't want to still move it to the bin, I can get rid of this file completely and bypass the bin. I just hold down the Option key and here you will see it says delete immediately. So this will bypass the bin. So if I click on it, you will see it will delete it. It will even bring up this message to say that this action cannot be undone. If it was going to the bin, I can always undo it by just doing the Command Z. So in fact, I'll quickly do that just to show you guys. So I'll cancel this and I'll move it to the bin. So getting it back, I can do the undo, which is Command Z, undo, move this file to the bin. So I can actually go straight to the bin, and in the bin, I can go to put back. Okay. So that will then automatically put it back in. I'll actually do it that way. There we go. And now this time around, I'll just move that straight, bypass the trash. There we go. So that is some of the advanced features that I can quickly show you guys. So I will end my presentation and I'll leave it open for questions.
So Angela, is this all specific to Big Sur or does it overlap with Catalina as well?
Also Catalina.
There wasn't a single thing that Anne showed that can't be done in Catalina or Mojave.
Angela, how many shortcuts do you actually know? How many years did it take you to learn all these shortcuts?
You know, I normally go to the ones that I use on a regular basis. You know, I start small. I started with a copy and paste, Command C, Command V, Command X for cut, and so on. So I started with a copy paste commands, and then I went to the easy ones like opening Spotlight search, which is Command space bar. And you know, I'm a kind of mindset, I will never do shortcuts ever. And I showed it, just start small. And later on, I saw her sitting in one hand on the keyboard while the other hand is on the trackpad.
Angela knows 1,421 shortcuts at last count. One thing that Tim, if you're interested in this, if you're in the Finder and you go to the help menu and you type keyboard shortcuts, you'll see there's actually a help file which will give you all sorts of shortcuts. It'll open up your help system and you'll see Safari keyboard shortcuts, Mail keyboard shortcuts, Finder keyboard shortcuts. So, you know, you only really remember them when you start using them multiple times. Yeah. The other thing that I'm really a big fan of is when you've got a menu that's popped down, holding down the Option key just to see what happens to the menu, to see what alternative options there are. Like Angelo said, the difference between get info and show inspector, where you've got this floating palette that doesn't go away and changes depending on what you've selected. You'll never really find those out. I mean, one of the ones I love is if you know you hold the space bar down to do a quick look on a file. If you've got, let's say, 10 images and you hold the Option key and space bar, instead of showing you lots of little images, it turns into a slideshow. So, you know, you'll never get all of those. But if you experiment and you go, oh gosh, I wish I'd known this, then you'll start using it and then it'll become second nature.
So guys, thank you very much. I'll see you on Thursday. And yeah, all of the best. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye. Bye.